Good morning, students. Sairam. Now, today we shall proceed with the next part of our history lesson, that is lesson number 2. Now, in the previous parts, we have learnt about the decades, that is 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, and also the various changes that had taken place in the political and economic life of the country. Yes, now today we shall learn further about the changes that had taken place in economy, as well as how it had further led to the progress of the country. So let us first start with the Indian economy. Now, when Indian economy we talk about, it is seen that there are some characteristics of Indian economy. Now, what are those characteristics? First important thing is modernization of economy. Secondly, economic self-sufficiency and social justice. Third is social justice. So, modernization of economy, in the sense you have to make use of modern technology, modern means of communications to be implemented. Then economic self-sufficiency, whatever income or profit, it should be economically self-sufficient in order to run over the country. At the same time, it should be equally distributed, wherein social justice can take place. So it should be equally distributed amongst all the strata of the society. So further, you would see that India wanted to acquire modernity and self-reliance by establishing industries. So how can India be modern? By implementing or by starting new industries, and also by acquiring modernity and self-reliance, means should be self-sufficient, and new means and technology should be implemented and should be used in order for a new advancement in the society. Second, we wanted to establish an economy based on social justice through planning. So, whatever income or profit that is earned by the country should be equally distributed amongst all the people in the society. And for that, what was required? A proper planning was required, so that social justice can be maintained in the society. And as a result, we would see that a national planning commission was established that would coordinate development through the policy of the 5 years plan. So a national planning commission was set up, which would internally coordinate and help in the development of the country by means of setting up of 5 years plan. The Narasimha Rao government started economic reforms from 1991. So there were various economic reforms, various changes since the when there was Narasimha Rao, PV Narasimha Rao government was ruling. Now this economic reforms, what are they called as? They are called as economic liberalization. So whatever changes that were brought about in the field of economy in 1991, they were called as economic liberalization. Okay. Next. Now the Indian economy, it flourished as a result of the implementation of this policy. So this policy of was being implemented of economic liberalization by means of 5 years plan, and accordingly the Indian economy had flourished and the foreign investments in India increased. How did it flourish? India started investing into foreign affairs by carrying out trade with the foreign countries. Then skilled Indian professionals helped reform the Indian economy. So there were various professionals who were skilled in various skills like science and technology, or health unit, you could see education department. So everybody who having different skills, they played a major role in bringing about the economic reformation and in order to bring about improvement in the Indian economy. Okay. Next, you would see the field of information technology opened several avenues of employment in the country. Now, because of there was the information technology was implemented, wherein which helped the people to get employment it opened the avenues to the people in order to get various employments in the country. So people would get job, and they would it would also help into the improvement of the national income. So whatever were the changes that we could see after 1991 that were brought about in the Indian economy, what were these changes called as? These changes were called as globalization. Okay. Next. So further we could see, as we are talking about globalization, when now what is globalization is India is carrying out investing in foreign affairs, carrying out trade with foreign countries, new modern means and technology is used. So accordingly we could see globalization had taken place. So in the same way, there were various reforms in the field of science and technology as well. So when we talk about science and technology, two major events must be mentioned. So while we describe the India's efforts towards self-reliance, so when India wanted to be self-reliant, it had taken several efforts, and which were the two major efforts which we need to describe was Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of the Green Revolution in 1965. Now, what is this Green Revolution? It was launched by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan in 1965. Now, in this, he implemented new scientific techniques and increased the production of food grains. So, new techniques were implemented, and which resulted in the increase of food grains, increase in the production of food grains. So, that is why it is named as Green Revolution. Second, the experiment is cooperative about the dairy movement by Varghese Kuren. He led to increase of milk production in India. So, Varghese Kuren, he had greatly contributed to the increase in the production of milk, and that is the reason it is called as White Revolution. What it is called as? White Revolution. Okay. So, these two events need to be mainly described when we talk about the improvement in the field of science and technology. India also had made a lot of progress in the field of atomic energy and space research. Okay, there were various progressive things were done in the field of science, atomic research and atomic energy and space research. So the most important contribution was of Dr. Homi Bhabha. He laid the foundation of the Indian Atomic Power Program. So, the foundation of Indian Atomic Power Program was launched by Dr. Homi Bhabha. So, India insisted on using atomic energy for peaceful purposes. So, though India had made a great progress in the atomic energy, but its main aim was to use this atomic energy only for peaceful purposes. Now, what were those? Like generation of electricity, pharmaceuticals and defense. Okay, so those were generating electricity, use of pharmaceuticals and for the defense purpose, but that all will be used for peaceful purposes only. And so India has achieved a considerable success in space technology also. So, okay, so we have achieved a great success in space technology, right? You all are aware about Rakesh Sharma, then Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams. Okay, so it had done a great progress in the space technology as well. In 1975, the first satellite, which was that Aryabhatta, was launched. Okay, so which was the first satellite launched in 1975? That was Aryabhatta. Today, India has made a successful space program and many satellites have been launched under this program. Okay, so India has further done a great progress in this satellites and have launched many such satellites under this program. It has also made considerable advancement in the telecom sector. Okay, now anyways we all are aware about the new gadgets. Okay, so it has done a great progress in the telecom sector as well. New inventions have come in. Further, you would see, as we have learnt about the changes that had brought about in the economic and the science and technology, there were also changes in the field of social life. Now, what were the changes that were brought about in the social field? So, we could see that during this period, there were several major changes in the social field in India. Now, what were those changes? These changes were especially related to society, wherein most importance was given to the women's empowerment of women and children. Okay, so some of the changes were related with the issue of the empowerment of women. Next, you would see that there were changes related with the policies regarding the upliftment of the deprived sections of the society. As we know that before independence, our society was more of religious bound as people were orthodox. So as a result, even the people of weaker sections were deprived on a large scale. So when these changes were brought about in the social field, most importance was given for the upliftment of these weaker sections of the society. Now, what was done was to promote the all-round development of women and children. Also, women were not allowed to move out of their house and to do any education. So, in that case, also various schemes were implemented, developments were done for the upliftment of women and children. So, a separate department of women and child development was created in 1985. So, a separate department was created for the women and child development. When it was created? In 1995. And under whose ministry? It was under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Then there were some laws were made to ensure social justice to women and to help the implementation of various schemes in this direction. So, there would be no discrimination between men and women, as previously we had a male dominated society. But later on it was seen that even the women were given equal status. Social justice need to be provided to the women for her upliftment. So, in that case, they include the Prohibition of Dowry Act and Equal Remuneration Act. Now, we all are aware about the practices which were practiced before, like the taking of dowry and Remuneration Act. So, equal pay, even after when a lady is separated from her husband, then she should be equally, the alimony should be paid to her. Equal status also should be provided to her in the society. Then, as per the 73rd and 74th Constitution amendments, seats were reserved for women in the local self-government bodies. So, as we have seen that the new reforms that were brought about in the social field, it had taken good care of the upliftment of women. So, all the ill practices were put to an end. At the same time, women were given equal status and also the authority to participate into the government affairs. Okay. So, next we would see that according to the makers of the Indian Constitution, some constituents of the Indian society were deprived of dignity and equal opportunities due to the caste system. So, according to the makers of their constitution, according to their view, the Indian society were deprived of dignity, that is equal status, equal opportunities. Why? Due to caste system. As there was untouchability and caste discrimination was followed on a larger scale. So, the people belonging to scheduled tribes and scheduled castes were not given that status accordingly. So, the Kaka Saheb Kalelkar Commission was set up in 1953 to make recommendations so as to improve their condition. So, in order to improve the condition of this deprived society, the Kaka Saheb Kalelkar Commission was set up in order to improve their condition. Next, we would see that in 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal to study the issue of the backward class. So a commission was set up in 1978 under the chairmanship in order to study the issues related to the backward class. Now the policy of reservation was adopted to strengthen the representation of backward sections in various services and institutions. So we could see that the policy of reservation was adopted. As we can see the reservation when you go for your traveling also, there are certain reservations. At the same time, for when you go now for your college admissions, you would see that there are reservation seats specially reserved for the people belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. Okay. So in this way, these reservations were being provided in the services as well as in certain institutions for these backward class. Now the government passed the Prevention of Atrocities Act in 1989. Now why was this act passed? To enable those belonging to the scheduled caste and tribes to live with dignity and respect. So that means the people belonging to the deprived caste, that is the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, they should be given equal status and dignity in the society, and they should be free from fear, violence and oppression of the upper class, as the upper class was a dominating class who would dominate the weaker sections or the lower class people, and they ill-treated them. So as a result, this act was being passed. Further, we would see now, as we have seen about the changes that were brought about in the Indian economy, wherein we had seen that there were various schemes were implemented. The planning commission was set up for 5 years plan was set up, wherein which would help for the development of industries, new inventions, new technology, and also would provide employment opportunities to the people, which will further help into the increase of national income and in the India's economy. Next, we would see, we had seen about the inventions that were done in the field of science and technology, wherein new technology was used, and also which further helped into the for increase in the production, and which further also helped for globalization. Next, in the field of society, that is social reforms were passed in the field of social field, so that the weaker sections, the deprived class, would be given equal status, equal opportunities would be provided to them. And now, what are we going to learn about? When all these new inventions, new technologies were implemented, automatically the country started progressing. As it started further progressing, it led to globalization. Now, what do you mean by globalization, children? Yes, when we come in contact, when we trade with other countries, and when all the ideas are shared at global level, okay, technology, globalization had brought about many changes in different fields. Now which are those fields? Fields like economy, politics, science and technology, and even society and culture. Of course, we got known to the Western cultures, to the culture of other countries. Also, we have shared our culture with the foreign countries. So, there was an exchange of ideas. And India has emerged an important country on the global scene in different scenes. Okay. So, India has proved to be an important country at a global level. So, what was that? So we could see that India is an important member of international organization, like which are those organizations? G20 and BRICS. Now what is BRICS? We have countries included in that: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Okay, so India is one of the important member of these international organizations. India has also experienced an important revolution in the field of telecommunication and technology. So that we could see at present also in the field of telecommunication, new inventions, new technology coming in. Okay. Now, Further, we would see, as we are talking about new technology, telecommunications, we first from the landline phones, then we had the handset, the mobile phones, now we have the smartphones. Okay, then we are easily connected to internet and could easily communicate with people far from us. So these all facilities which were based on satellites, they have spread all across the country. And in the political field, India has demonstrated to the world how a stable democracy can function successfully. So India has led an example to the world about how a democratic country, how democracy can function successfully if it is stable. Okay. Further, we could see all this. Now we have seen all throughout the lesson about the various changes that were brought about in various fields in various decades and by the various representatives, the prime ministers who ruled India. All this has further resulted on a total transformation in the lifestyle of Indians and especially the youth. So what has this all helped us to do? It has helped us to change our total lifestyle and get accumulated to the new inventions and new technology that have come across. Now these changes are visible from there. Now how do we know about these changes? So these changes are visible from the dietary, the habits, clothing, language and belief, the way we live, the kind of standard we would like to have, then the food we eat. Of course, we are now very much fond of Western culture, their food habits, yes, and so clothing, language. Accordingly, we could see that people have started developing around. Now, in this chapter, we have studied all about all these new inventions, new developments. Now, in the next chapter, we shall study about the internal challenges which India had to face. Okay, what were some of the internal challenges before India? That we should study in our next chapter. So, children, we shall stop here for today now. Here we have finished with our second topic in history. Thank you.